Q&A specific type of based, right?
Exactly. And I'm gonna give everyone some prompts as well. So it should be good.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm just gonna get the screen share going and then get cracking.
How old are you, Jack?
24.
Damn. So,
What, you thought older or younger?
I thought definitely older.
That's
To
cool.
be honest, I thought you were like
appreciate it.
30 or 28, something like that. Oh, wow.
No, 24.
It's amazing. People in here are really something else.
Yeah, man, and you're the same way. Like you're taking this program and you're 21 or 22?
22, yeah.
22? I mean,
Yeah.
that's incredible. And Tyler is 23.
Oh, wow. How is this possible? Wow.
And Dad, how old are you?
How old do you think I am, Tibor?
I think you are 56, if I remember correctly.
57. Yeah, I just turned
Oh,
57. So
Nice.
Awesome. Well, can you guys see my screen here?
Not anymore.
Okay, wait, let me see what's just happened there. Oh yeah, I see. Perfect.
Tyler, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm just trying to get some sun in through these windows.
Do you have the window open?
Kind of. The sun's not really coming through that angle though right now.
That window is super nice.
Yeah. It's elite.
Cool. So hopefully you guys can see this now. Can you see the opening slide here, behavior architecture?
Yes,
Yep.
now it's popping.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is the focus of today, guys. And basically what I'm going to tell you guys how to do, or at least give you my kind of approach to, is how to turn your health into a system, into this kind of architected system that you know exactly how to approach in terms of making the most amount of progress. So to dive straight in, the purpose of this call is pretty simple because we've already given you the information, right? The past few calls where we've dived into the 4 pillars, which we'll touch on again later, that's really the information behind this cohort. And we've really touched on that already. So the focus of today is I just want to turn all of that understanding into action. And that's really the key. Most health journeys aren't stagnating because of a lack of information. It's because they are struggling to actually implement. And that comes because of a few reasons, right? Not having a clear feedback loop in what you're doing, not having real control over the input and then seeing the outcome. And I'll talk about all this stuff. It's all psychology. And I'm going to teach you how to optimize your systems and how you approach health so that your brain feels this reward and this drive to continue, to be consistent. And so that's really what we're going to dive in today. And in terms of the outline, this is really, it's going to be 4 parts. First, I'm going to talk about the biology of consistency, as I've just said. So touching on some things like why you might not have really been consistent before, how the human reward system actually works on the biological level, and how to design your kind of health system and how to design your behaviors so that your brain literally wants to do it again. So it's quite powerful. Then after that, we're going to do a full summary, like pretty brief, but just a full tying together of the 4 pillars that I've covered in the past calls. And then part 3, we're going to do something called a health audit. I want to do a live health audit with you guys, which we'll see what that is. But I'm going to run you through this framework. It's a tool that you can constantly come back to. And what it's essentially going to allow you to do is objectively view where you're at in your health journey and create a list of priorities and hypotheses, essentially, in terms of what you need to prioritize next to make the most progress. And it's really going to allow you to gamify your health journey. And I'm going to talk about this in terms of the way I like to do it. That's what I'll run you through today. But by no means am I trying to be dogmatic. I want you guys to approach this, obviously, how you want to. Everyone's unique. Everyone has different approaches to how they like to do things. And so there will definitely be nuance that I will integrate later, but I just want to run you through the way I kind of like to do it. And then part 4, we're going to go into a Q&A as has been requested and as I think is really crucial, just to make sure that all of you guys, and it's lucky, as Jack said, that it's a small group today because we can really go deep. So that's the outline. I want to now begin with the biology of consistency. And the core question is, what makes a system stick? So that's what we're going to look at first. And there are 3 core pillars. There are 3 reasons as to why and as to what makes your body truly want to continue. So the first one, this might seem obvious, but it's progress. The human psyche craves progress. Okay, and why is this? Well, when your nervous system detects progress, there's a literal physiological response. Dopamine, which you guys probably all heard of, increases. And when you get an increase in dopamine, you get this fuel to continue to pursue. So this is a really important point. If there is no visible progress, your body's not going to feel truly inclined to continue, right? It comes back to our survival instincts. If you think back to the caveman days, if a caveman doesn't see progress in what he's doing and what he's spending his energy on, that's crucial energy he needs for survival. So the body's gonna be like, no, don't do this. No dopamine there. That's not worth your time because we're trying to survive, right? So it's exactly the same in the modern day. Your body has the same system. It has the same approach. It's constantly asking, are we making progress here? Is this worth our time? And so the key thing we need to do when it comes to, this is the number one really, is like, how do we make progress visible to your body? How can we create a system that allows you to feel like you're making progress on the daily, or just as much as possible? So that's the first pillar, and we'll talk about how to do this, but I just want to introduce it as a principle. Now, number 2, autonomy, right? Your brain needs to feel like it's in control of your process, of your journey. It wants to think that, okay, my actions are actually causing this progress here. And if there is no control, if your body doesn't have this, like, okay, yeah, if I do this action, it's going to lead to this, then there's, again, not going to be that motivation behind it. And as it says here, perceived control, it lowers stress and it's going to increase your drive. So key question then, how do we create a system that's going to increase our agency, our ability to feel like we're in control of what we're doing and choose these specific things? Second principle. Right, third one now is attribution, cause and effect. So this is linking back to the progress aspect. Your brain is only truly going to reinforce a behavior when the cause and effect are clear. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that your brain wants to be able to see that an action has a noticeable result, and it wants that connection to be extremely clear. The clearer that connection to action result, the more that's going to solidify in your neural pathways, and the more it's going to be easily repeatable. So that's really the key. We want to isolate that winning move, that winning action, and we want to reinforce that as much as possible. So the key question here is, how do we make these cause and effect links as clear as possible for the brain, right? Dead clear. So it's like, okay, your brain's literally like, if I do this, I'm going to get this. That was a really clear link. I felt progress and I was the one that chose how to do that, right? If every decision that you make can map those 3, then you are going to feel amazing in everything that you do, right? As I say, just to summarize, you need visible consistency requires visible progress, controllable inputs, specifically ones you are in control of, and a clear cause and effect relationship. And so a system has to have it has to have these 3. You need to clearly see what you're changing. You need to actually be able to control the variables, and you need to be able to trace the results back to all of your actions. So this is what we're really going to dive into today. I want to give you an approach, a specific tool that is going to encompass all 3 of these pillars to consistency. And I'm going to run you through it live on call today. So it's going to be quite powerful, I think. But before we do that, I want to actually give you the system within which we are going to do this. And that is the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are the exact topics that we've talked about in the last calls. And so I just want to overview, I just want to really quickly recap all of those so that it's fresh in your mind and so that you have this coherent system going into the audit that we're going to do live. So quick recap, the 4 pillars. Here they are laid out. So number 1, obviously, light, water, magnetism. So this is your fundamental bioenergetics and biological timing. It's going to set the environmental signals and completely organize your circadian rhythm, right? Blast from the past, but we've talked about that. I don't need to go super deep. Nutrition, again, raw materials and fuel. It's the raw substrates that are going to allow for energy, repair, structural health. Then number 3, movement, right? This is the mechanical stimulus and distribution of all of these raw materials and this energy, right? You're going to build tissue. You're going to release tissue. You're going to, as it says, distribute biological signals. And then number 4 is the nervous system. That was one of our most recent calls. Regulation, and this is going to allow you to actually take control, take action, do these things and feel safe doing that, right? And as it says, this is going to determine whether the body can actually recover and evolve. So that's a quick recap of the 4 pillars. And the next thing I want to touch on off the back of this is the health audit, as I mentioned. So now that we have that system fresh in our minds, this is the tool that we're then going to use to dive into that and create this biology of consistency. So first off, what is the health audit? Well, it's this simple system that I want to give you that's going to allow you to objectively assess your current habits. We're going to identify your current constraints and then turn all of that into this clear feedback loop, crucially where you're in control of it. You're the one calling the shots. You're the one making the progress. So as I say, what this audit is going to do, it's linking back to those 3 points. It's going to create the visible progress because we're ranking bottlenecks and we're tracking change. We are going to restore your autonomy because you're the one who's choosing what to work on. And then, as I say, it's going to reinforce that cause and effect as well, because we are going to change a few variables at a time. So you're going to really be able to see, okay, this did this, that was great. I want to do that again. So let's actually do this. I want to dive into this live audit now. And I just want to let you guys know what this is going to involve. So in terms of what you need, I would recommend either getting a piece of paper and a pen or a Google Doc, something where you can write on and get your thoughts out pretty well. And the first thing I want you guys to do, I'll give you a second to do that, but essentially what you're going to do is write the 4 pillars on this piece of paper, evenly spread out. So let's say I had the piece of paper, I'm probably going to do it on a Google Doc. I would want light, water, magnetism in the top left, the other one in the top right, and then the other 2 bottom left, bottom right. So just spread out evenly throughout the page, or however you would like to do it. All that matters is that there's some space in between each of them, because we're going to be writing stuff under each of the pillar headings. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that, or just maybe a minute or so. Let me know once you have, and let me know if that's clear as well.
I just dropped the question again in the chat. Freddie, would you be able to go back to the 4 pillars just so we can make sure we have those
100%.
down?
Yes. And what I'm going to do is I'll go through them one by one and make sure that it's super clear on some of the things you can ask yourself about, because oftentimes, it's like, what am I doing wrong in light, water, magnetism? It's like, oh, I don't actually know, but I'll give you some prompt questions to help you really narrow in as well. Cool. If I could just get a thumbs up from everyone once that's done, that would be awesome. Perfect. Cool, cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So step one, we've outlined the 4 pillars. They're all written down. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each pillar one by one, and I'm going to ask you some questions about them. And essentially, it's all going to revolve around this key idea, this key question I put here, right? It's this idea of, if someone objectively observed you from the outside view, from the third person, what would they say about your habits in that domain? And specifically, what would they say is your weakest link, your bottleneck? So that's what we're going to dive into in specifics. And I want to start with light water magnetism. So in each of these, we're going to take a few minutes, and I want you to ask yourself what your bottlenecks are. And, you know, sometimes it can be hard to objectively look at yourself. So take a moment, but some examples here. Am I consistently seeing the morning sunlight? Ideally sunrise, right? Am I always on artificial light before bed? Do I sometimes scroll on my phone before bed? Am I spending a lot of time outside and grounding? Or, you know, it doesn't even have to be these. It can be some more specific. It can be like, am I spending enough time grounding, right? If you're obviously operating at a decently high level, some of these might be already taken care of, in which case it's going to be a bit more narrow. It's going to be, am I spending too much time on my phone? You know, all of these things. So these are basic ones, but really it's going to matter. What's going to matter most is that it's specific to you. These are just some examples. And so what I would say is write down the top kind of 1, 2, 3, even more things that you feel like are bottlenecking you right now under the light water magnetism heading. And we're going to do that for each. And I'll give you guys a few minutes here. I'm going to do it as well.
Hey, Freddie, you're,
Yes.
I see you always got the red light on. Is that
Yes.
behind you? Jack actually bought
Oh,
my
yes.
wife and I one for Christmas, so I got to start using that. So do you usually
Yes.
have it behind you, or do you
Great
use it when
question.
you're watching TV, or just when
So
can
yeah,
you use it? I got to start doing that.
100%. So right now, the light behind me is just like a lamp with a red bulb in it. But my actual red light is a panel here, probably similar to what you've got.
Yeah.
And the way I use this is I like to just put it next to me whilst I'm working. So I have it kind of pointed at me when I'm just sat at the desk. Or yeah, as you say, when you're watching TV, you can have it just beaming into the room. And what that's going to do is it's just going to help especially when looking at screens, having that red light in the air is just going to help like basically almost blend with the blue light that's coming at you and almost take the edge off of it, is essentially
but not directly at you, kind of at an angle. Yeah, I know it came with glasses and everything, so
yeah, exactly. So this one
right at me.
exactly, you don't have to. Mine actually has a setting where it's quite it's not like super bright. Like if I show you, there's another setting here where it goes super bright like that, which is just
Yeah, I think
insane.
I have the same one, right, Jack? Where it's bright and then super bright.
Yeah, there's 2 switches. There's one in the middle. The middle light is super intense, but the ones that is more on the like the circle,
Yeah.
that one is chill. And
Yeah.
I think if it's at you on an angle, it's probably good. But Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. That dimmer one is just probably near infrared light, so that one is a lot less bright. That just beaming at you at an angle is completely fine.
Okay.
The really bright one, I would say, is better for rooms. I wouldn't look directly at that.
I'm gonna do that tonight.
Awesome. Great stuff. Perfect, Jack. Yeah, guys, just feel free to let me know once you're all good. Perfect, Scott. Awesome. Thank you, Jack. Perfect, Tibor. Awesome. Okay, guys, good stuff. So that's light water magnetism. And what I would actually like you guys to do, and we'll probably do this at the end once we've written all of them down, but just to give you guys a full kind of knowledge, I'm also going to get you to rank out of 10 the severity of each bottleneck once we've written them all. So we've obviously written the bottlenecks, but I want you guys to write out of 10 how much this is holding you back from your health goals. So you can do that now, or you can do it right at the end once you've written all of them, so you can kind of see all of them at once. But I just want to let you guys know that's the plan as well. Okay, so now we'll look at nutrition. Again, ask yourself what the bottlenecks are. If you looked at yourself on the day-to-day in terms of your eating habits, what are the things that you would notice are your bottlenecks? So again, some prompts, some of the basic ones, but it's going to vary depending on who you are. Are you eating mostly whole foods, nutrient-dense ones, or are you still relying on processed foods? Are you chewing properly and actually eating slowly and being intentional about your meals? Are you eating enough protein and animal-based foods? Are you eating way too late at night? Are you overeating in general? Right? Is your meal timing inconsistent? Do you ever feel bloated, sluggish, unstable after meals? These are all some questions. So sit with yourself on nutrition, see what comes up. Take another few minutes. Awesome, Scott. Perfect. Awesome, Tigger. Cool. And we're going to do this just for the next couple as well. Same thing again. with movement. So where do you think you're holding yourself back here in terms of your habits? Are you strength training consistently each week? Are you really sedentary for most of the day? Are you hitting your step goals, right? Basic stuff, but I'd be curious to hear, and definitely write down the things that come up most for you. Nice, Jack. Awesome. Perfect. We're getting there. Good stuff, guys. Perfect. Okay. So, final one. I think for me, this is the most relevant. I'd be curious. You guys are probably, you know, as of the past three, you've probably felt ones that have been more obvious to you. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just lacking in that area. That's got to be done, right? Some it might be like, you know what, I'm doing pretty good here. So you can see the clarity probably starting to come through. But let's do the same again. Final one, nervous system. Some examples. Do I wake up feeling wired or calm? Do I feel super stressed throughout the day? Am I intentionally down regulating, downshifting during the day with things like breath work? Am I constantly stimulating myself with, doesn't have to just be the phone, it can be loads of music, it can be always just checking your phone, right? Am I actually being still? Am I actually being present and embracing the parasympathetic state? Am I really struggling to wind down before bed? Right? All of these little things. The nervous system can be a little more abstract. So you can honestly write anything that comes up for you on this, but it's typically going to be around how stressed you feel, how downshifted and regulated you feel. And it can even be around kind of anxious thoughts and things like that as well.
Freddie, I have a little question.
All good, bro. Go for it.
When you say do I wake up feeling wired,
Mm,
does it mean do I wake up and directly I go back to my life? I don't know. I'm right in the zone directly, thinking about what I need to do.
hmm I think
Is
what I
that
mean
what you
is
mean?
like, yeah, it's like, are you waking up with like a pounding heart, like you're like, oh, I got to get going, like a bit frantic, or are you waking up like, oh, it's another day. I'm grounded, I'm calm, and before you actually like inject yourself into what you have to do, your obligations, what you want to do, like, are you feeling like you're grounded in yourself and you're present and slowed down before you do those? That's essentially what it means. It's kind of what I was getting at least.
I feel like when I wake up, I'm like I need to go back to work. I need
Mm.
to do my thing, to take action.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That might not necessarily be a bad thing, but I guess the way I'm saying it is, do you feel like this instant stressor when you wake up, like you've got to get straight into it, like it's like a bit frantic, or is it like, yeah, I've got this work to do, but there's a bit of stillness and calm to it.
Okay. I think in my case, I think it may be in a good way actually.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's often the case. Perfect. Cool. Wait, hang on. Is Tyler still in the pool? For some reason I can't see. Okay, perfect. Is Tyler still in the call? I can't see from my tab.
I don't see him, but I can send him a text.
Okay, no problem. All good. Yeah, I think that's everyone in that case. So the final step here, or one of the final steps, and this is that
Freddie, real
ranking.
quick.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Tyler said he got kicked out. I don't know. He probably just his connection. So
Oh,
he
okay.
might read you.
Perfect. Okay, I'll be ready to let them back. Awesome. So the final thing to do here is to rank your bottlenecks. So we've written down for each topic the things that you think are within each domain that are holding you back from your optimum health, that are bottlenecking that specific area. So on a scale of 1 to 10 on how much this thing is holding back my health right now, I want you to rank it. Go through each one and say 1 to 10, 10 being like, yeah, this is just cooking me right now. I really need to focus on this. 1 being like, yeah, it's just a very, very minor thing, but I wrote it down anyway. Tyler, welcome back. So basically what we got up to, where did you, at what point did you get kicked out?
I think we were just finishing up the nervous system ranking.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's, feel free to take time to continue through that. If you want me to go back to that slide, I definitely can, but we're now just going through and ranking everything.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And then once that is done, let me know. And what I'd recommend doing then is circle the 1 to 3 highest on your scores. So if there are any 8s, 9s, 10s, circle those in big, bold, like make those clear to your conscious mind. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I'll be curious, guys. We'll talk it all through in a second. But let me know once that's all good. No rush at all. And once you start to build up a picture of your bottlenecks, you don't have insane amounts of bottlenecks. It shows the growth. Exactly, Tibor. That's a really good point. So what I would then do is, and you might have multiple high severity bottlenecks, but what I would try and do is choose one that you think is the most important to you and focus on that for the next 3 to 7 days. I've said for the next week, but honestly, if you are extremely intentional and say, okay, for the next 3 days, I'm just going to focus on implementing this thing, like that's often enough time to solidify. Like you will oftentimes feel a lot better after addressing a bottleneck within a matter of days, even sometimes hours. Like it really depends, but at least like maximum a week, focus on each thing at a time, but it can even be a matter of days. And a really key point here is try not to fix everything at once. I mean, you can like periodize it and say, yeah, I'm going to do this in the future. But the issue is, if you try and do everything at once, again, it's going to blur that clear cause and effect loop. And you're not going to be able to truly say, okay, well, what caused this better feeling that I have, right? If you can clearly see that, okay, when I did more myofascial release, I felt better in my body. That improved the energy, the bottleneck I was feeling before, and it relieved the tension in my neck that was making me feel like stagnant. That's like, okay, this caused this. You're going to feel good about it, and you're going to want to do that again and want to keep it in your habit stack, right? So fix the biggest constraint, do it one at a time, focus on each thing kind of 3 to 7 days at a time, and slowly go through that list of severities. And that's going to be a really helpful approach for you guys. So this is kind of the final point here, as I've said, right? I've just talked this through. Run like a 3 to 7 day experiment. Define the change that you are going to do to directly reduce that bottleneck and run it consistently. And crucially, this is the important part, observe what happens. The observation element of this is key, right? You want to be super tuned into how you feel, how your energy changes, or how your mood changes, how your stress levels change. And then once, as you kind of collect that data, then you come back and you can even change your score, right? You can look back at the score and say, okay, now that's like a 5 out of 10, thank God, right? And a really crucial point here is this doesn't have to be done super analytically. You don't have to do this. Yeah, so Tibor, good question. I think doing it one bottleneck at a time is best, but it can be on like a 1-2 day cadence. Like it doesn't have to be like week by week because that can be quite slow, but that's kind of a good way to do it, in my opinion. Now, what I was saying is this doesn't have to be done super strictly and analytically. Like every few days, you don't have to come back and like redo these audits. It can be quite intuitive. It can literally be like, okay, you wake up, and as long as you are setting intentional time to like feel and be like, okay, so basically what I'm saying is instead of writing down and going through each thing and saying like, where are my bottlenecks? You can literally just feel in your body like, okay, where do I feel tension? What do I feel like I need right now? Like for me, it's like I need to release my upper back and neck right now. Or it's like I need to eat more fiber, like whatever it is, right? But oftentimes it can come to you intuitively. And again, it really is going to depend on the person. Some people, it's much better to sit down, be objective, be a lot more analytical about it. Others like to really just kind of flow with it and be like, I want to just listen to my body right now. So don't take what I'm saying as like, do this, you have to do this, like see what you gravitate towards, but the framework needs to be there either way. It needs to be like objectively viewing how you are and making sure that you are choosing the variable that you want to change and having some control over it. And you're having the visible progress, so your brain's seeing the improvement, and there's a clear cause and effect. If you can meet these three, it doesn't matter if you do it really analytically or intuitively. Whatever you do it's most important that it works for you. So this is the process, right? I just want to summarize. So you do the audit, whether it's intuitively or analytically as we did today. You isolate the thing that you want to focus on, and you choose something you're going to do, and you experiment with it. You spend a few days implementing, taking action, and then you reflect. You say, how did this make me feel? What was the change there? And then you come back and you re-rank it. You see the difference. All right. And by the end of that, your brain is going to develop this very clear cause and effect. You're going to have probably seen a difference because you're actually conscious enough to reflect on it. And you were the one who actually chose to do that. So you're going to feel good about yourself. Right. And as you repeat this, this is how you create momentum. This is how you take charge of your health journey, because you feel like you're in control. You feel like you're the one driving your own progress. It feels great. So the more and more you do this, you're going to gain momentum. And what does that lead to? It's going to lead to an identity shift. The more you do this, the more you get these small wins and you feel this visible progress, the more you're going to start to see yourself as this healthy person, as this person who has taken charge of their health, who's in control of their physical being. And once that starts to solidify, a lot of this stuff becomes automatic. It's kind of profound, right? Like for me, especially, like this is just part of who I am now, right? I don't have to really be intentional about sticking to these little things and these micro habits. Like it's literally just a byproduct of how I am now. And that's because my identity has largely shifted around it. So by doing this over and over again and iterating on this process, you're going to be able to create and shape this identity that's going to make it super, super simple to stay consistent with this stuff and truly transform. So it's quite powerful. But this tool, this audit mechanism, is super, super good. And I'll be honest, when I was trying to think of what I was going to write for this call, I was like, I'm not 100% sure. So I just took a look at what I personally do. And this is what came up. I didn't call it an audit previously before this, but this is just kind of how I do things. And I think it's quite useful. I found it to be extremely valuable in my journey. So I hope this was useful for you guys. That's the end of the presentation, kind of live audit section of this. And for this last bit of the call, I want to open it up to any questions you guys have, whether it's really general ones about the cohort, any specific questions, or if it's anything related to the bottlenecks that came up for you, right? And feel free as well, if you want to share any bottlenecks, and T-Bot, I'll go back for sure. Go back to step 3. So if you want to share some of your bottlenecks, if you want to share some things that came up, feel free, and I can give you direct advice on those now. Otherwise, if you just want some general questions, general Q&A, then we can dive into that now. And I'd encourage you, if you need a second to think of questions, feel free, but you can really go broad if you would like. You know, it can literally be like, how do I improve my strength training routine? Like you can do whatever. So really don't feel limited in the questions because we've got time. There aren't that many of us. So I'd encourage you to, feel free to open up. So go for it. Anyone feel free to jump in.
Hey, Freddie, this was really helpful. I thought this was a really good session. Just
Thank you.
A lot of things we already know, a lot of routines
Yes.
you have, things you know that you struggle with on a daily basis. It's just good to hear that.
Yes.
And to reiterate it so your awareness of it,
Yes.
you're aware of it every day so you can focus on getting better at those bottlenecks. So
Yes.
I think it was really good as far as writing things down and talking it through and having good dialogue. So this has been really helpful for me.
Amazing. Really glad to hear it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I want to echo that. I mean, I'm literally in my calendar right now and in my notes and in my tasks changing my entire call schedule, because the tricky thing about being out here right now is like it's 11 p.m.
Yes.
Right. And that's okay. But it's tricky because sometimes I'll be on a call like right now until 11 p.m. And then the next morning I have a call at 8 a.m. or even 7:30 a.m.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I'm getting to bed late. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm waking up and instantly I'm on a call.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now after looking at this and analyzing it, and my biggest bottlenecks were, let me pull it up actually. Need to sleep more, not working out some days because it's just been a little bit chaotic, and looking at my phone right away in the morning or getting on early calls. So what I'm doing now is I'm intentionally going to consolidate all my calls, or as many as possible, into Monday night. So Monday night's my night. Okay, 7 p.m. to midnight, 1 a.m. If it's one night, that's okay. The rest of the week now, I'm open and I'm good. So I wouldn't have thought out all of these prompts. So thank you. This was amazing.
Of course. Thank you, Jack. Well, that's really good. Yeah, I think that's a really prime example of what this was trying to achieve. So amazing.
And I'm down to hop on a call in the morning if it's you and like 2 other. But other than that,
awesome. Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Tyler, Tibor, feel free to share anything that came up. If not, any questions as well.
Yeah, my biggest bottleneck, it kind of like showed up in light water magnetism and nervous system, was just like being on my phone too much, like being constantly stimulated. So I think if I just cut down my phone time, like that will help out a lot. Like even in the morning, waking up before bed on my phone. So that's gonna be like my main focus next 7 days.
Dude, yeah, I think that's super high leverage. And I would say also, like, I'd be curious if you have, it might literally just be like literally powering it off or keeping it out of sight, but do you have any specific things that you thought about doing that would help you to really implement that?
Yeah, so if I power off my phone and then put it on top of my refrigerator, I usually forget it's there.
Nice.
So
That's a good hack, actually.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Tibor, I'd be curious, what was the kind of big thing that came up for you, if anything?
Yeah, my biggest one, and the thing that is terrible is it's been probably months that I think about it, is my I want that precise, detailed wind down routine, like Jack told me to do. And I'm always thinking about that, but like to me it can be in a kind of religious way, like every single day at 10 p.m. I am in my bed.
Yes.
But this is what I think I should do. This is like my standards, and yeah, I can't do it. Every weeks I think about it, and somehow I can't do it. I let life happen, and I get out of the zone, and I can't.
It's interesting. It was similar for me, actually. The thing that came up for me, it's like having this like evening ritual. I think it's a really valuable principle to almost like ritualize your morning and evenings, because those are the bookends of your day, right? If you can just start it strong in the morning, which to be honest I find I'm decent at these days, and then bookend it strong in the evening, it's like no matter what happens in between, like the day can be very profound as long as it's just like contained within these two barriers there. So for me, yeah, I'm the same. The evenings are often a bit kind of hectic, and then it's just like 10 p.m. rolls around, I'm like, okay, I'm just getting in bed, but it's like I'm not properly wound down. So it's a very profound point there. And I think the key approach, I mean, actually, I'd like to hear it from you. Like, what do you think would be valuable for you to allow you to implement that kind of evening wind down better? And what would your approach be for the next like 10 days or so? Should I really try and nail that?
To be honest, slowly I'm putting more space for my bed routine. Like before, I was talking with my friends before sleep, but now I tell myself after 9 p.m. and 20 minutes, I just completely stop.
Yep.
But somehow I can do it. And next week the problem is I will probably not be. I will be with friends. So I can't control my sleep. So at the same time, maybe I need to focus on something else.
It's a good point. Like, you don't have to be super strict with yourself. Like, it's nice to have this routine and to try and stick to it. But if life is genuinely just in the way, like for me last night, there was no chance I was going to be able to get to bed early, right? Like, there's just these things that happen. So that's where the grace element comes in, right? Because life is inherently, it's non-linear. It's not always going to be structured. And if you try and put it in a box at all times, you're going to find that you'll probably suffer from that. Like, this is something I've discovered a lot. So you have to be dynamic and flexible, but obviously, have the intention be, yeah, let's have this routine, let's have this wind down. And if it's very, if it's in the flow and it's like, yeah, this is just what I need to do tonight, and have that. But if there are just obvious things that are going to throw that off, don't force it, is my advice. Like, it's much better to just flow. So there's a balance. And as long as you can get that in 70% of the time, 60% of the time, like, that's still amazing. So that would just be my advice there.
I love what you say, Freddie. And to be honest, I think, yeah, if in that area of life I can't be good enough, then it's all right. In other area, I will try to be relentlessly competitive and get things done, and that should do it for some time. But when I come back to my place, I will definitely focus on that bottleneck.
Amazing. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
Go for it, Scott.
Freddie, you just hit the nail on the head. I learned that a long time ago. If you can do the little things and button things up,
yes,
and be flexible, Jack's laughing, you control your time. So that'll help you in your personal life and in business. And that's one of the key pillars to being aware and being successful.
That's really good advice.
Those routines dialed in, but flexible, and help you control your time. It's as simple as that.
I love it. Very, very profound. Thank you for sharing. Awesome, guys. So if there are any final questions, it can be unrelated to your bottlenecks. If you just want to ask general health questions, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'd be happy to call it there for today. So yeah, just any final interjections, we can go for it. Otherwise, I think we'll call it.
Yeah, Freddie, I have one quick question.
Go for it.
I was gonna buy some raw milk. I was gonna order some raw milk online.
Yeah.
And I kind of sketched out because the website said like for cats and dogs only. So I didn't buy any.
Yeah.
But do they just like have to say that because of regulations or something?
Exactly. Like, so, okay, I'm curious. I probably even know the website you're talking about if it's in Chicago. Like do you know the name of the website? Is it like a dog food website?
No, it's like a farm website that has like,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know where they're based, but
okay. Yeah, no, like, dude, it's all regulation stuff. Like the milk I get, they have to call it bath milk, like milk that you bath in instead of drink. Right? It's like genuinely, it's all just loopholes. But it's 100% fine. Especially like, obviously, you know, some farms might actually be dodgy, but if it's like a good farm, and you can see that they're in their about page is good and they treat the animals well and it's like grass fed, then I think you're going to be good to go, to be honest.
Okay. And do they sell raw milk that's A1 instead of A2, or is it all considered A2 protein?
No, it's a great question. If it doesn't specifically say A2, it's probably A1. So either it needs to be from a Jersey cow, or it needs to say A2, or it needs to be from a goat or sheep. Those are the only times you know it will be A2. And I would say, if you want, by the way, if you want like the sources that I use when I get milk, I can send it to you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Yeah, cool questions. The raw milk stuff is fun. I haven't had it for a few weeks, but it's obviously like pure life force. Tibor, go for it.
Yeah, still on my biggest bottleneck. Basically, I give maybe 9 hours a day to my sleep.
Nice.
And I only get like 1 hour 30 of deep sleep, 2 hours of REM. So I don't wake up feeling amazing. I just wake up having sufficiently well slept, like 37 8 out of 10. And in the end I waste, well, I don't like this word for sleep, but I use 9 hours of my time for this. How can I sleep better?
Yeah. Okay. So you feel like you're dedicating a lot of time to sleep, but you feel like it's just still a bit average, basically.
Yeah, and I don't put my alarm. I don't know. I just want to wake up like 6 a.m. and start getting better right away instead of right before sunrise. And then
yeah. No, I totally understand. Like, I think as long as if your light environment's dialed in, that's obviously the number one. And then I would say other things you could try is like you could try some supplements. Like this is where I think for sleep specifically, like having a little stack that you have before bed or like 30, 40 minutes before bed is actually like super useful. So what I do, and like I used to track my sleep on like the Aura Ring and stuff. So I like got good data as to what was helping me. Like glycine is really good. It's an amino acid, lowers your core body temperature, so it directly helps you get more deep sleep. So I would really consider that, like having 5 grams of glycine powder and some water before bed. It's actually sweet too, so it tastes quite nice. I would also, if you don't have magnesium, get on that for sure. but I think you mentioned you're on that already, so that's great.
Quick question about magnesium.
Yeah,
I tried from different supplements, and the first night it works. Like I feel really rested, and then I don't have anything. But at the same time, I don't get the highest quality one. So
okay.
I don't...
Yeah, with magnesium, it can be hit or miss. The form that it's in is really crucial. And I've tried a lot of magnesium supplements. The two that work for me are the spray that I recommend, and then this one specific brand, which might only be in the US, I don't know. But for some reason, this magnesium, like if I were to get like an actual capsule, this one hits like a truck. Like genuinely, you will sleep like a baby if you have this one. It's called Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. And this is a blend of all the best types of magnesium. And for some reason, and it's well dosed too. I just find this one really good. So I would try that, glycine, and then I'm actually just looking at what else I would recommend. Actually, I think a herbal thing in terms of tea that could be very useful. So I'm just looking at this tea I have here. There are a few different herbals that you can probably get for super cheap at like a health food store.
Chamomile.
Yeah, chamomile is great, but there are much stronger ones as well that are just like genuinely will get you extremely. Yeah, no worries, Scott. Great to see you. So yeah, passion flower and valerian, these are the main two. If you can find these two herbs and have a tea out of those with chamomile, for example, and just have that with the glycine and magnesium, you will feel like extremely tired. And at the same time, like I do think still an hour and a half of deep sleep and 2 hours of REM, like that's perfectly good. Like sometimes people just genuinely don't need more than that. So I wouldn't like overthink it too much, to be honest. But if
even
you really
for 9 hours.
Yeah, I honestly think so, because what that says to me is like if you're giving your body the 9 hours and you're pretty dialed in your lifestyle anyway, like your body's not pushing you into more deep sleep because it doesn't need it. That's often like genuinely how it is. So when you see people saying, look at me, I'm getting 3-4 hours of deep sleep, I'm like, your body's probably like actually pushing you into that for a reason. So yeah, I mean, try these supplements, and the only reason I'm going supplements first is because I think you're already pretty dialed in. So try these first and see if it helps. And if not, if you really want to take it to the next level, I've got some like oral peptides that you can try that will like genuinely like make things insane. But that's kind of high level, so we can wait for that.
Okay, and I can find the link to the product glycine somewhere.
Yeah, I'll send you a link I'll send you a link after this call.
Okay. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Freddie.
Of course. Awesome, guys. I think that's everything then. Great questions, everyone. And yeah, I hope this call was valuable. I certainly even liked giving it because it was useful for me as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Definitely message me throughout this next week if anything comes up, if you have any more questions. Of course, Jack, your call tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to it. And yeah, I'll see you guys then.
Loved it.
Thank you, Tibor.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Jack. See you guys. See you.
Amazing day.